graduates, and the angel level, which is seed funding. So I would like you to enlighten the guests and us, actually all of us, about how does the governmental seed funding initiatives work in Europe, because it is very hard to convince businessmen to put money in seed funds because the failure rate is going to be very, very high. It was already hard to convince them to put money in angel and in micro VC. So just tell us a little bit about the seed funding. Does it return the money at all? How successful it is? How does it work? How are the amounts, and how does it work in Europe? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for it's a very good question, actually. And the good news is seed funding in Europe is working well. There's enough seed funding around to really also accommodate the startups and sometimes not even early stage, the people with great ideas to back them, to help them to set up a startup. And it's done in various ways. I think there are national programs, but there are also many regional programs. I mean, down even to the cities who have early stage funding programs for their community. And I think the way how to deploy government funding here, so yes, I completely agree it's mainly government funding because the risk is so high for private investors that they stay away from that kind of funding. So government money, and there are many different ways, I think, how to deploy government monies in the smart way. And in Germany, for example, you have the High-Tech Gründerfonds, which is it's public money, even though they try to get some private investors on board, but it's mainly public funding, and they invest directly into the early stages. So it's government money, but they try to hire good people. I mean, they probably cannot pay salaries like a private VC could, but they are trying their best. And actually, this High-Tech Gründerfonds is doing very good work, and they have invested over 500 million euro over the last 3 to 4 years, I believe. What you could also do as a government, of course, that you invest directly into an early stage seed financing fund, that you become an investor, that you just give them the money and let them, the private fund, invest the money however they seem it is the right way to invest. And I think what I see, just my private view here is I think that a combination of both is the right way. Also to foster business angels, you're absolutely right to point them out. They are so important for the ecosystem, and they don't need additional funding. But a business angel wants a very good tax and legal environment, and they might want to get some tax breaks if they invest into seed funds. And so I think a good combination and a smart combination of different government funding schemes, incentive schemes, is probably the right answer. And since it's working well in Europe, I would be happy to take that offline and to tell you a bit more about that in detail.
I think we are late 15 minutes, but maybe we'll take last question.
Okay. My name is Dr. Saeed Malki. I am faculty and strategic planning consultant. I'm very happy to be here today. To listen to this outstanding talk from eminent experts. I think it's very important to praise the achievement, and I think the Kingdom did a great job in terms of promoting knowledge, management of knowledge, and the dissemination of culture of knowledge. However, I think it's very important to talk about things that needs probably improvement. I mean, this is my opinion, and I would like just to see if specifically the gentleman, from this institution, this entity, that if you agree with me or not. As a faculty, do you think, sir, that we need probably? I'm originally Moroccan, but I think there are some patterns among Arab countries. Do we need really a reform of the education system? When we talk about education system, I'm talking about, honestly, when I teach, I find out that some students, they feel more comfortable with memorization. I think if we want a student who is ready to grasp knowledge and to disseminate and transfer knowledge, I think it is time to develop, to focus more on creative thinking, on critical thinking, and quantitative skills, data mining, statistics, and English and communication skills. Honestly, the average student is very smart, but I think the issue of language, communication skills, and because I think this is a form of network, as Professor Thies in the beginning mentioned. Indeed, universities and firms and government, they definitely work in this aspect as a network. Yes, definitely the top-down approach is important, but what about indeed the regional aspect?
I would like to thank you for
Yes.
your comments. I think this is a comment, not a question.
No, just one last thing, if you don't mind. In terms of joint ventures, do you think it is time to think about new perception of, this is my question basically, new perception of foreign direct investments in terms of not just to encourage transfer of know-how, but to definitely to have some form of partnerships and new joint ventures with the leading companies. Thank you.
Which department are you in at King Saud?
I'm not doing King Saud. I'm faculty at Salman bin Abdulaziz University.
Which one?
Salman bin Abdulaziz University, and I am strategic planning consultant also. If you look at the slide I showed on Ma'rifah 2, and it has all these programs. There is a program in human resources, and that one certainly involves programs universities can propose. By the way, these are open for universities and institutions to propose whatever program they want that enhance innovation and so forth. And even in programs to enhance the educational system, if it leads to that is related to the national plan, in the areas of the national plan. So there is funding for universities in these areas, and if there are things that are part of the curriculum and so forth, that's not really included. But if there are special classes such as those in entrepreneurship, certainly the plan can fund those. So this is part of the plan, but we cannot go and manage the university. The universities have to take advantage of the possibilities and the funding in order to improve their institutions, and we know that all of them are really dedicated, including Prince Salman University, which is a new university. I'm sure they are also dedicated to improve the quality of their students and entrepreneurship, critical thinking, and so forth. As far as the question of foreign direct investment, certainly, we have an agency in the kingdom, SAGIA. The whole purpose of it is really promoting foreign investment. And we have the economic cities, like the one in Jeddah, in Yambo, and others. We have about 5 economic cities in the kingdom. They're all about direct foreign investment in the billions. So there is certainly a huge effort from the kingdom to attract foreign investment. As far as venture capital, certainly, if you see Israel, as was mentioned earlier, that it has the highest, most of that funding is really coming from outside Israel. It's not coming from Israel. It's really from outside, because they have innovation culture, and they are well-educated people, and they have a system, and they have a good system of matching funding. If you have a funding coming from outside, I think it's called USIM program, something like that, in which they match. The government matches any funding that comes from outside. So certainly, but the kingdom does not have a problem with financing. We have a lot of money, really, in the kingdom, but it doesn't go into the venture capital because of the high risk. And it's easy money, and they can invest in other things that get higher return, no taxes, nothing. So they get the 20% without having to go into this high risk. And that's the problem. But I think if we improve the ecosystem, the regulation, as was mentioned, and we should benefit from the European ecosystem, the legal system. We propose, CACS proposed the regulation, changes in regulations, and it's being studied now. That will allow venture capital to flow from outside and also allow it to grow in the kingdom. But it will take a while to see it
progressing fast.
Okay, thank you all. I'd like to thank His Highness Dr. Turki and Ms. Dorit, and thank you all for this listening to this